Yeah. Hear me out. Black man, black woman, know that you are heaven sent. God blessed you with melanin, that's quite an embellishment. Every time I look at you, I see excellence. Praise the higher for being such a perfectionist. You've been told your whole life that you were ugly, huh? By the ugly ones, they just jealous. Pissed cause they ain't got your genetics. They spend thousands to have your features and they still look pathetic. Damn. In every black neighborhood, there's a liquor store. I wonder who put them there and what they did it for. They know that alcohol is detrimental to your body. Once consumed, it destroys your mental. They want for you to indulge in these substances, and by they, I'm referring to your government. Now we take the word government, you will find that government means control and it means the mind. They want us to operate in our lowest nature. They were successful, but God sent me to elevate you. I just want us to get back to what we used to be. Kings and queens, know that you are royalty. You claim to be African, you claim to be Indian. None of that really matters, cause all of us are indigenous. Know your worth. You the salt of the earth, but somewhere in time we lost our flavor. Disconnected from nature and all the aspects of it. It's been demonized and we've been programmed to believe it. I broke away from religion and I'm so glad that I did it, cause shortly after that's when I started to realize that this God we've been seeking out the whole time is dwelling deep on the inside of each and every one of our temples. I meant bodies. You no longer need to see the truth because I just dropped it. Real talk. Now this is where I step away, take a break, find a quiet place to meditate, relax my flesh as my mind begins to elevate, raising my consciousness to a higher state, create a true equilibrium, synchronizing the two left and right hemispheres of my encephalon. The work is done, I'm illuminated. Now carry on.
Look, a female dog for the black woman I'll never utter. Butter pecan brown smelling like cocoa butter. When you nappy, I'm happy, I see a flawless cover. Glory on your head, your hair rise high to the Lord above us. Stay kinky, I love you blacker than Danny Glover. No cap and caramel and every other color. Everything noir, everything mother. Everything you touch is golden wherever you are. That's why they emulate your stilo, emulate the lingo. Imitate your body and courage, but let them beat it up. Cause it must be hard walking around flat as a backboard and wishing they had shaped like a letter beat off. The carbon copy's not the original. Black man, first man, fresh up out the kiln. He made you and gave you dominion over them. So when you seeing us, you looking at the creme de la creme. Big facts, so you know they can recline way back. With the wheel on the lag and thought the roof was in the back. That's a black man, make it look cooler than ice packs, man. We the salt of the earth, what you expect? Put some respect on it. May not agree with everything, but we connect, homie. You got my back, I got your back, and that's a bet, homie. What's fried chicken with some grease on it? It ain't no without the seasoning sprinkled on it.
Hold on.
Play it again?
Yeah, hold on. Play that again. Hold on, play that over. Play that over. Play that over. Play that over. Play that over.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Listen to this song.
Hear me out.
Listen to this song.
Black man, black woman, know that you are heaven sent. God blessed you with melanin, that's quite an embellishment. Every time I look at you, I see excellence. Praise the higher for being such a perfectionist. You've been told your whole life that you were ugly, huh? By the ugly ones, they just jealous. Pissed cause they ain't got your genetics. They spend thousands to have your features and they still look pathetic. Damn. In every black neighborhood, there's a liquor store. I wonder who put them there and what they did it for. They know that alcohol is detrimental to your body. Once consumed, it destroys your mental. They want for you to indulge in these substances, and by they, I'm referring to your government. Now we take the word government, you will find that government means control and it means the mind. They want us to operate in our lowest nature. They were successful, but God sent me to elevate you. I just want us to get back to what we used to be. Kings and queens, know that you are royalty. You claim to be African, you claim to be Indian. None of that really matters, cause all of us are indigenous. Know your worth. You the salt of the earth, but somewhere in time we lost our flavor. Disconnected from nature and all the aspects of it. It's been demonized and we've been programmed to believe it. I broke away from religion and I'm so glad that I did it, cause shortly after that's when I started to realize that this God we've been seeking out the whole time is dwelling deep on the inside of each and every one of our temples. I meant bodies. You no longer need to see the truth because I just dropped it. Real talk. Now this is where I step away, take a break, find a quiet place to meditate, relax my flesh as my mind begins to elevate, raising my consciousness to a higher state, create a true equilibrium, synchronizing the two left and right hemispheres of my encephalon. The work is done, I'm illuminated. Now carry on.
Look, a female thought for the black woman I'll never utter. Butter pecan brown smelling like cocoa butter. When you nappy, I'm happy. I see a flawless cover. Glory on your hair rise high to the Lord above us. Stay kinky, I love you blacker than Danny Glover. No cap and caramel and every other color. Everything noir, everything mother. Everything you touch is golden. Wherever you are, that's why they emulate your stilo, emulate the lingo, imitate your body and courage, but let them beat up. Cause it must be hard walking around flat as a backboard and wishing that they had shaped like a letter beat up. The carbon copy's not the original. Black man, first man, fresh up out the kiln. He made you and gave you dominion over them. So when you seeing us, you looking at the creme de la creme. Big facts, who you know that can recline way back with the wheel on the lag and thought the roof was in the back. That's a black man, make it look cooler than ice packs, man. We the salt of the earth, what you expect? Put some respect on it. May not agree with everything, but we connect, homie. You got my back, I got your back, and that's a bet, homie. What's fried chicken with some grease on it? It ain't no without the seasoning sprinkled on it.
What's up, what's up, what's up, Facebook? What's up, what's up? What's up, YouTube? What's up, what's up? How y'all doing? Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Good morning, Facebook Live. Good morning, Breaking Strongholds Ministries. Good morning, YouTube, Orlando, keeping it simple. How's everyone doing this morning? I hope the Most High have really truly blessed you and given you all the hearts of your desire. I hope He really truly have given you wisdom and knowledge and understanding of everything that is going on in the world or in His Word. I hope He really truly have. I hope He has barack you with protection. I hope He has really blessed your offspring with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. I hope He really truly has. I hope He has given you all the hearts, all the things your heart desire when you ask for it in His name. I really truly hope He has, you know. I hope He really truly has blessed you. And your offsprings. I hope your week has been a great week. I hope He has taken care of you. Even those people who the trucking company Yellow. I hope He has really truly blessed them with the vision of seeing things from a different perspective. Hoping that I know that they are going to bounce back. But you know, it goes to show you that you really can't put your faith in man. You can't put your faith in man. You can't trust man because they will fail you. You know, you can't trust them because the simple fact is they'll fail you. They'll fail you, you know. Because Yellow Trucking Company has probably been knowing that they've been going through financial difficulties for a while. And they waited to the time right now where the economy is rough to go through bankruptcy and lay off 35,000 people. But I'm going to tell you this. Most union trucking companies, they also have non-union trucking companies. So the company itself, or the president or the CEO itself, would never fail because they have always bought up a secondary company to support them in case the union fails. So Yellow itself as an entity didn't go out. It just got rid of 35,000 people so that it can rebuild its company through Yellow Logistics or another company called PN Trucking. So Yellow didn't go out. It just got rid of the 35,000 union carriers and went to non-union workers where they don't have to pay for health care. They don't have to pay for union retirement. They don't have to pay for any of that. So Yellow really just got rid of what they want to call the waste, because they still exist. It's just that those 35,000 people just went without a job. That's what happened. I hope they come back after this bankruptcy, but why would a union company come back into business when they have just bought non-union carriers that could support the same load? They just got rid of people so that they could be able to employ non-union employees and don't have to pay them the benefits, don't have to pay them the retirement, don't have to do anything, but they can demand more on the employees. So, you know, I'm not saying I'm for or against unions, because both have problems, but I think that the way a company operates means more than whether you're union or non-union. Let me read you this in Psalms 118. Psalms 118, verses 8. I'm just going to read verse 8, 9, and 10. Verse 8 and 9. I'm going to read verses 8 and 9. It reads, in Psalms 118, 8 and 9, it says, "It is better to trust in Yahuwah than to put confidence in man. It is better to trust in Yahuwah than to put confidence in prince. All nations compass me about, but in the name of Yahuwah will I destroy them." But it's telling you that you never should trust man in anything, because man will fail you. And that's what we do as a people. We put trust in these corporations. We put trust in people. And when they fail us, we're disappointed. But we have to understand something. These people don't care nothing about us. They care about the bottom line. At the end of the day, they don't care nothing about you nor your family. They care about the bottom line at the end of the day. So let us go to Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. And it reads, "And El spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy El, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, and thou shalt have no other Els before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah thy El, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gate. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy day be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor. Let us pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power to your glory, forever and ever. So let it be. Amen, amen, amen. Good morning again. Good morning again. I really want you all to listen to that song. That was a very, very powerful song. Very, very powerful song. It was an encouraging song. It was very encouraging. And the message today is encouraging. Today, the teachings of today is encouraging. But it also want us to understand that what you see on the earth is not coincidental. Everything that you see is manifested through the Most High. So could you turn to Ezra? Ezra chapter 1. Ezra chapter 1. Verse 1 through 11. Ezra chapter 1 verses 1 through 11. Ezra comes right after Chronicles. Ezra chapter 1 verses 1 through 11, and the key verse is verse 2. And it reads, Thus saith King Cyrus, king of Persia, Yahuwah of heaven has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he has charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah, or Yehudim. Okay, let me read it over. It said, Thus said Cyrus, king of Persia, Yahuwah of heaven has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he has charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Yehudim or Judah. If I may give a title of the text this morning, the title of the teachings this morning is, Everyone has an assignment. Everyone has an assignment. Okay, and if I may give you some words today. Some words today. The words today are proclamation, proclamation. A proclamation is a publication by authorities, official notes given to the public, act of making public. It's a 14th century word. Proclamation is a 14th century word. It means publication by authority, official notice given to the public, act of making public. Okay, reparations is a 14th century word. 14th century word. Reparation is a 14th century word. It means to repair, act of mending, amend, compensation, recompense, satisfaction for injury. What is done to repair a wrong. Reparations mean that act of repairing, restoration to sound or a good state. That's what reparations means. Okay? So, when we look at the book of Ezra, let me say this to you. Yeah. Let me go to Jeremiah chapter 27, verse 5. Understand this. Jeremiah chapter 27, verse 5. I'm going to read verse 4, but the main one I want you to understand is verse 5. And it says in verse 4, and command them to say unto their masters, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, the El of Israel, thus shall ye say unto your masters, Yahuwah have made the earth, the man, and the beasts that are upon the ground, by my great power and by my outstretched arms, and I have given it unto whom it seems meet unto me. Let me do something real fast. The word meet means to be straight with or even, figuratively and casually. The word meet means right, pleasant, prosperous, direct, fit, seems good, well, please, well, esteem, right on. Okay? I'm just going to use the word right instead of meet, okay? To be able to get you to understand the word a little better. I have made the earth, the man, and the beast that are upon the ground. By my great power and by my outstretched arms, I have given it unto whom it seems right unto me. Okay? So, when we're looking at this Ezra chapter 1, this is the beginning of the building of the second temple. Babylon conquered Syria, and then Medo conquered Babylon, Medo-Persia, or Persia conquered Babylon. And understanding that when the children of Israel was in Babylon, Babylon took all their precious gifts and took them to Babylon took all the precious gifts. Oh man, this is significant. Listen to what I'm saying. When Babylon conquered Jerusalem, Babylon went in and took all the precious gifts out of Jerusalem and took them to Babylon. Babylon used all their precious gifts to be all Jerusalem precious gifts and stored them up into their museums. They put them and they used them to be able to be prosperous off of them. They used everything that Jerusalem had and they took it to Babylon and made Babylon a great city. Everything that he did, Nebuchadnezzar did, he took it out of Jerusalem and took it to Babylon, and Babylon became this great city because of everything, that majority of the things that was in Jerusalem. So because of Babylon's arrogance and worship of wood and stone, Yahuwah had to bring in another nations to conquer Babylon. That's why Jeremiah is so important, because you got to understand, why would the Most High come down and fight a war for us when he can use whomever he want to use to do whatever he want them to do. Like it says in Jeremiah chapter 27:5, I have made the earth, the man, and the beast that are upon the ground. By my great power and by my outstretched arms, I have given it unto whom it seems right unto me. Understand that the Most High, he uses his people for whatever he want to use them for whatever purpose he want to use them for. He gives them an assignment to do on the earth for whatever the purpose is. So now when Babylon abused their authority over the children of Israel, the Medo-Persians went in and conquered Babylon. But they also, when Babylon went in, they destroyed the first temple. They destroyed the temple. They destroyed Jerusalem. So now, when Medo-Persia destroyed Babylon, Persia destroyed Babylon. So when Persia destroyed Babylon, they were in possessions of everything that Babylon had. Persia was in control of all the possessions of Babylon, even the possessions that Jerusalem had. So everything that Babylon had gotten from Jerusalem, Persia was in charge of it at the time. Understanding Jeremiah 27:5. The Most High uses whoever he want to use people for whatever reason he want to use them for. So now Persia is in charge. Persia is in charge. Persia is in charge. Now what did the Most High give Persia? What was Persia? It's Cyrus' assignment. Babylon's assignment was to destroy Jerusalem because of their wickedness. Now what was Cyrus' job? Cyrus' job was to restore Jerusalem after Babylon had destroyed Jerusalem. So now what the Most High did is he brought a nation to Jerusalem to destroy them because of their misbehaviors. Now the Most High brought another nation in to restore Jerusalem because of what Babylon did to Jerusalem. Sounds crazy, don't it? And the reason why it happened is because Babylon made the children of Israel worship wood and stone. Babylon wanted to make the children of Israel worship wood and stone. That wasn't Nebuchadnezzar's assignment. His job was to conquer them and bring them into another land and let them live freely. That's all his job was to do. His job wasn't to make them worship their golden statues. Like, hypothetically, when the United States conquered the original Americans and brought maybe 300,000 or 400,000 slaves to the Americas, it wasn't the Europeans' job to make us live the way the Europeans wanted us to live. It was to be in charge of us for a certain period of time. That's all it was for. It was for them just to be in charge of us. Not to abuse us, not to rape us and rob us and kill us and do all this stuff. That wasn't their job. Because they're not our God. They're not our El. It was their job just to rule over us. That's it. Because of disobedience. But when you go past the limit, that's when curses start to come upon you because you abused your power as a ruler. So that is the reason why the Most High brought Cyrus, King Cyrus, upon Babylon, is because of what they did. So now it reads in verse 1. And I got some articles that I want to read too, okay? It says, now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia. Let us go back to Ezra chapter 1, verse 1. Okay? Ezra chapter 1, verse 1. I'm going to try to put it together as a puzzle, so just be a little patient with me. Okay? Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of Yahuwah by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. Listen to that. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of Yahuwah by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. Yahuwah stirred up, listen to that, Yahuwah stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he make a proclamation throughout all his kingdoms and put it also in writing, saying, thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, Yahuwah El of heaven has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he has charged me to build him an house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Cyrus is going to rebuild the same house that that Babylon just destroyed. A couple of hundred years right after, because Babylon destroyed Jerusalem in 597, and Persia ruled and rebuilt rebuild Jerusalem around 337 or 397, because Persia ruled. I'm giving about, those are not accurate numbers. So hold on. Okay, it says in 538, Cyrus united the Medes and Persia, conquered Babylon in 538, and founded the Persian Empire, which extended from Afghanistan to the Mediterranean, including Asia Minor. So Babylon ruled for about 70 years. Babylon ruled Jerusalem for 70 years. Understanding that number 7 is very significant. Understanding 7 is very significant. Because we got to understand that the nation of Israel was established in 1948. Their 70 years of rulership ended in 2018. That's 70 years. And the year right after that is when the world began to go through judgment. Okay? But I want us to understand something again. It says, thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, Yahuwah El of heaven has given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he has charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Everybody has an assignment. Cyrus had an assignment. Nebuchadnezzar has an assignment. Everybody and everything has an assignment. Sometimes it's people's assignment is to bring judgment, but it's also some people's job to bring restoration. That is something that we got to understand about the Bible or the Bible, is that everybody does not have the same purpose. Some made to be looked out for bad, some are made to be looked out for good. Some is to bring the oppressed, some is to bring the judgment, and some is to bring the deliverance. Okay? The reason why I say that, let us go back to Jeremiah chapter 27, verse 6 and 7. Because Cyrus' job is to rebuild. Nebuchadnezzar's job was to destroy. Okay, in verse 6 in Jeremiah chapter 27 it reads, "And now I have given all these lands into the hands of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant." Nebuchadnezzar was a servant of the Most High, just like Cyrus was a servant of the Most High. "And the beasts of the field I have given him also to serve him." Listen. "And all nations shall serve him, and his sons sons, until the very time of this land come." Listen to this. "And then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him." So what the Most High is saying, everybody gonna have a chance to be in a specific power at a specific place and time. Everybody got an assignment to do, and all kingdoms has an assignment to do something at the very moment. Because a lot of the times we may see something in reality and think that, nah, this can't be. But we have to understand that every nation is not going to rule forever. Every nation is not going to rule forever. Okay, and let me read one more and then I'm going to do something. Go to Isaiah chapter 44, 26 through 28. Because we see that he gave the kingdom into the hands of Nebuchadnezzar. We see in Ezra chapter 1 and 2, he gave the kingdom to the hands of Cyrus. Now let us go to verse 26 and 20 through 28 in Isaiah. Okay? Listen to this. It says, "That confirmed the word of his servant." Listen to that. His servant. We are Most High servants. We don't do what we want to do, and when we don't do what when we do what we want to do, we out of his will. But when we do what he wants us to do, we're in his will. Even though Babylon was not part of the nation of Israel or the tribe of Judah, they still was in the Most High's will when he conquered Jerusalem. Because that was his assignment at the time. He just abused his authority and power. Okay? So now in Isaiah 44, 26, 27, 28, it says, "That confirmed the word of his servant and performed the counsel of his messengers that said to Jerusalem, Thou shalt be inhabited, and the cities of Judah ye shall be built, and I will raise up the decayed places thereof." He's talking about restorations. He's talking about restoration. It says, "That said to the deep, Be dry, and I will dry up thy rivers." Listen to this. "That said of Cyrus, He is my shepherd, and he shall perform all my pleasures. Even saying to Jerusalem, Thou shalt be built, and to the temples thy foundations shall be laid." This was a promise that Cyrus was going to help rebuild Jerusalem, because that was his assignment. Nebuchadnezzar's assignment was to be brought down. Cyrus' assignment was to bring it right back up. Okay? So let me read you something. Okay. This is coming out of what newspaper article? Russia Beyond. This comes out of Russia Beyond. And it came out August 16, 2017. Okay, listen to this. What role did Russia play in the US Civil War? Russia-America relations were not always so bitter and tense as now. During the Civil War, Russia supported the Union primarily because its main geopolitical enemies at the time was Great Britain, which was sympathetic to the Confederacy. Russia supported the North. Great Britain supported the South. Understand that. In addition, the U.S. and Russia had enjoyed good relations in the first half of the 19th century, even though they had very different political systems. Okay? Although the Civil War in America ended more than 150 years ago, it still generates controversy. Recent events in Charlottesville, Virginia, where disagreements over the removal of a Confederate war monument provoked a public uproar that led to violence and death on August 13, are just a recent example. The Civil War was undoubtedly a watershed in American history. And Russian leaders, though living far from the battle, closely followed events and eventually played a small but vital role that proves critical to the Northern victory. I'm going to read two more. I'm going to read that's just one. And I'm just going to say this to you. Without the support of Russia being a part of the Civil War and supporting the North would have never defeated the Confederacy, which is in the South. Understand that. Russia might have had different agreements, different ideologies about slavery and so forth, or whatever the case might have been. I don't know their ideology. I haven't looked at it. But Russia supported the North in trying to stop slavery. Okay? Let me go to another one. This is Algeria. This is Algeria News. This was published the 28th July of 2023. July 28th, 2023. Algerian. The Algerian News. Putin promises grain debt write-off as Russia seeks Africa alliance. Now we got to understand who runs Africa right now. Who runs Africa right now is Italy, Germany, France, Portugal, Spain, and Belgium. It's 7 countries, and even the U.S. Even the U.S. is part of the U.S., Italy, Germany, and France, and a couple of more other countries dominate Africa. Okay? Understand that the Most High uses whoever He wants to use to help liberate other countries. Putin promises grain debt write-off as Russia seeks Africa alliance. Putin pledges to supply Africa with grain, promotes joint fight against neo-colonialism during Russia and Africa summit. I'm just going to read you a little bit. Russia President Vladimir Putin said his country and the African leaders attending a summit in St. Petersburg have agreed to promote a multipolar world order and fight neo-colonialism as he offered debt write-offs and grains to world allies. Russia's attention to Africa is steady growing. Putin said on Friday at the end of the two-day summit, the meeting was seen as a test of Moscow's support in Africa, where Russia retains backing despite international isolation sparked by its war in Ukraine. Understand that Russia helped the United States fight against slavery. Russia is help fighting with the African countries against the colonialisms of white supremacy. Okay? Now, let me read you one more. My wife looking at me like, man, what are you talking about? Okay, The Guardian. France began evacuating its citizens and other Europeans from Niger. Okay. France has started evacuating its, listen to this. France has started evacuating its citizens and other Europeans from Niger days after a coup toppled the president and seized power in West African countries. Tensions between Niger and former colonial powers France has escalated after the coup on July 26 overthrew one of the last pro-Western leaders in African region. France decided to swiftly evacuate its citizens' goals farther than its reactions. In recent years in other former French colonies of Mali, where French citizens were not evacuated after military coup. The first of 3 planned evacuation flights landed in Paris on Tuesday evening. The reason why France is leaving Niger is because Russia is pushing all of the European colonizers out of Africa. Putin's assignment right today is to help restore and build Africa to its power that it needs to be at. As we look at what's going on in Mali and the other countries, it's been 7 coups in 3 years in Africa. And those 7 coups in 3 years have pushed France out of Africa. And what is the biggest deal is because what is in Niger? Gold. What is in Niger? Uranium. Everything that Niger gets goes to France and not to the country itself. So when we're looking at Cyrus' responsibilities or his assignment, Cyrus' job was to help rebuild Jerusalem. And when we look on the larger scale in our reality, Putin's job is to restore the continent of Africa. That's what you see on the largest scale today, is that Putin is restoring Africa by pushing out the G7 powers that control Africa and its resources. That's the reason why the G7s are over in Africa, is because they're taking all the resources. So now when Putin is over there helping Africa, one of the main things he needed to do from the very beginning is Putin promises grain debt write-off as Russia seeks Africa alliance. Now when Putin made it so important that he fed Africa by giving them grain. Then after he fed them, he gave them finances by releasing the debt that they owe the United States and the G7 countries. So now what we see going on the continent of Africa is so important to the rebuilding of the nation of Africa. That is what's going on this week, is that the Most High really has given Putin an assignment to help rebuild that continent. Now let us go back to Ezra. That's why I say everybody has an assignment. Putin, the Russian Federation has been helping people of color for a long period of time. Ezra chapter 1 verse 3. Listen to this because this is very important. Cyrus' responsibilities was to go rebuild Jerusalem. What Putin is doing to Africa. Okay? Then it reads in verse 3, it says, who is there among you of all his people? His God, listen to what's happening. His God be with him. His El be with him. His El be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of Yahuwah El of Israel, which is in Jerusalem. Okay? And whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourned, let the men of his place help him with silver and with gold and with goods, and with the beast beside the freewill offering for the house of El that is in Jerusalem. Then rose up the chief of the father of Judah and Benjamin, and the priests and the Levites with all them whose spirit El has raised, to go up to build the house of Yahuwah which is in Jerusalem. Cyrus' job was to help the children of Israel rebuild the house of Israel. But in order for them to be able to build the house, they needed financial support. Now, how Africa can become financially wealthy again is by pushing out France and all the European countries and let them live off their own resources and minerals. And if they want to sell to France, France will have to pay the price that Africa is selling in order to buy it. But as of years past, the reason why the continent of Africa has been so poor is because all their resources have been going out of the country, and then they would have to borrow. Then the African continent would have to borrow from France to be able to get some resources to come back into their own country. But now they're getting support through silver and gold. So now Africa has stopped all their resources from leaving the continent. So France was getting over $900 billion a year. Now imagine that $900 billion staying in those continents. What is going to happen to Africa, the continent of Africa? It's going to be the promised land. The continent of Africa is going to be the promised land. Why? Because they're pushing out all the oppressors. They're pushing out all the bloodsuckers. They're pushing out all the ticks. now Africa can keep all its vitamins and its minerals to itself and build up its nations on its own. But they wouldn't have been able to do it without the help of Putin. Jerusalem wouldn't have been able to build the second temple without the support of Cyrus. Let us go to Genesis chapter 15, verse 14. See, in order for you to be able to rebuild your nation, you got to have support. In Genesis 15 to 14, it says, also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. The great substance is, I'm going to show you in a few minutes. The great substance, you're going to need support. You're going to need money. You're going to need something to help you rebuild your nation. You're going to need something to help you rebuild your nations to become who you're supposed to be. Let us go to Exodus chapter 3. Verse 21. This is when the children of Israel was leaving Egypt. Verse 21 through 22, and it reads, verse 20, and it reads, I'm going to go to verse 20 in Exodus chapter 3. It reads, it says, I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do in the midst thereof, and after that he will let you go. Listen to that. And I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. And it shall come to pass that when ye go, you shall not go empty. You shall not go empty. But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor and of her that sojourning in her house jewelry of silver and jewelry of gold and raiment. And ye shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Egyptians. Go to chapter 12 and 35 in Exodus. Chapter 35 and 30, verse 35 and 36 in Exodus chapter 12. And it reads, and the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewelries of silver and jewelries of gold and raiment. And Yahuwah gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required. And they spoiled the Egyptians. So that means that they knew that they needed substance, they needed finances to be able to make sure when they're on their journey they can maintain everything about them. Now, the African countries are now able to provide for their own selves in their own country now, because when they kicked France and all the other countries out of Africa, all the resources and minerals stayed in Africa, because Africa is the motherland. Africa is the continent that everybody get their resources from. So now when Africa can be able to support itself, it will become the motherland, where everybody will want to thrive and live out, because all the resources come from there. That is Putin's job, is to release or to push out the oppressors out of Africa. Just like it was Cyrus' job to push and help rebuild Jerusalem. Everybody got an assignment. Everybody has an assignment. When Russia left the Catholic religion around 1097 AD, that begins the separation of the Europeans. Even though they're brothers, just like Assyria, Babylon, Medo, and Persia was brothers, but the Most High still uses brothers against brothers. Just like Rome defeated Greek, and they was all brothers. Because we have to understand that when the Civil War was over, a lot of United States citizens went to Russia to live. So let us go back to Ezra chapter 1, verses 6. So now, when you understand that you're going to need those substance, which is reparations. Reparations means repair, act of mending, compensations, recompense, satisfaction for injury. What is done to repair a wrong. The act of repairing, restoration to soundness or a good state. That is what's getting ready to happen to Africa. They're getting ready to come to a good state once they push France out of the continent. Once they push out the G7 countries out of the continent of Africa and they start controlling their own resources, Africa can now become a good state. That's mentally and physically. So now in Ezra chapter 1 verse 6 it says that all they that were about them strengthened their hands with vessels of silver, with gold, and with good, and with beasts, and with precious things, besides all that was willingly offered. Also Cyrus the king brought forth the vessels of the house of Yahuwah, which Nebuchadnezzar had brought forth out of Jerusalem, and had put them in the house of El, the house of God. Even those did Cyrus king of Persia bring forth by the hand of the treasures, and numbered them unto Sheshabar. I don't know how to pronounce that right now. The prince of Judah, Barzar, Sheshabarzar. I guess that's the name of it. The prince of Judah. But what's happening in verse 6 and 7? When Nebuchadnezzar brought all the treasures out of Judah and Jerusalem and brought them to Babylon, Cyrus took everything out of Babylon and put it right back into Jerusalem. That is the reason why now the continent of Africa is asking France and Germany and Italy to return all their merchandise that they stole out of Africa. The continent of Africa is asking all France, Germany, Italy, and Spain to return all their merchandise that they got in their museum, because that is what's in the museums in France, Germany, Italy, and Spain. If you go into their museum, all of it is African artifacts. But now Africa, the continent of Africa, is asking for their artifacts back. Everything that these countries took from them, now they're asking for it back. That's what that verse is saying. And all that they were about, them strengthen their hands with vessels of silver, with gold, with goods, and with beasts, and with precious things, besides that all that was willingly offered. Also Cyrus king brought forth the vessels of the house of Yahuwah, which Nebuchadnezzar had brought forth out of Jerusalem, and had put them in the house of his God. Africa is getting ready to be restored to a place that we only knew prior to the downfall of Africa. What we get ready to see on the continent of Africa is something that we never saw before in history. Because of Putin's assignment. Because of Putin's assignment, it's getting ready to bring Africa to a new place on the world scene. Okay, let us go to verse 9. And this is the number of them. 30 chargers of gold, 1,000 chargers of silver, 9 and 20 knives. This is what they had. These are the items that Babylon had brought out of Jerusalem. And this is the number of them. 30 chargers of gold, 1,000 chargers of silver, and 1,000 chargers of silver, 9 and 29 knives, 30 basins of gold, silver basins of a second sort, 410, and other vessels 1,000. These are all the items that they took out of Jerusalem. All the vessels of gold and of silver were 5,400. All these did Sheshabaj bring up with them of the captivity that were brought up from Babylon unto Jerusalem. These are all the items that Nebuchadnezzar brought out of Babylon and took it out of Jerusalem and took it to Babylon. Now what's getting ready to happen? Everything that was taken out of Jerusalem is going to be given right back to Jerusalem. All the uranium that was going out of Africa or Niger, all the uranium that was going out of Niger is going to stay in Niger, or going to come right back to Niger. All the gold that was coming out of Niger going to stay in, going to come back to Niger. Understand that. Niger give energy to over 25 to 30% of France. That means that just the country of Niger alone give energy to 25 to 30% of France. All the gold that's coming out of Niger is going into France. So that means that all those vitamins and minerals that they was giving to France is coming right back. And ain't nothing France can do. Why? Because Cyrus is going to support Niger and the countries over there in the continent of Africa. That's why it's been a big week this week, because of what's going on in Africa. But let me read you something else too. This article came out it don't say when. Leprosy cases surges in Central Florida, CDC. Leprosy cases surges in Central Florida, CDC. This is August 1st, 2023 at 12:15 WESH Channel 2. Let's read it. Florida is one of the top states with the most new leprosy cases in the country, according to a new research letter from the Center for Disease Control. There definitely is leprosy in the United States, said Nicole, chief hospital hematologist. I might be hepatologist. I'm not pronouncing that right. Yeah. Epidemiologist and infectious disease physician at the University of Florida. For many, leprosy may seem like a problem from biblical times. But Nicole said the disease is very much still around. In fact, the CDC letters say leprosy could now be an endemic in Central Florida. No, endemic. Endemic means something that is circulating and is present at all times, and it can be at a low level. The CDC letters, the CDC letter city resources from the National Hansen Disease Program that lists these as the states that had the most new leprosy cases in 2020. Florida, California, Louisiana, Hawaii, New York, and Texas. These are the list of these states. The list of states were based on data from 2020, which is the most recent year for which data is available. So far this year in Florida, there has been 15 confirmed cases of leprosy according to the state data. Most of these cases are in Brevard County. In fact, Brevard County has seen the most new leprosy cases in the state since 2011. And in 2020, Brevard accounts for over 12% of all new leprosy cases in the nation. Numbers chapter 12. And with him will I speak my mouth to mouth, even apparently, not in dark speeches and similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. The reason why people get leprosy in ancient times and during present time is because judgment is on the people because of their sin. I just wanted to bring that out. Okay? That's a little newspaper article. Okay? So let me finish with the last 3 verses. In Ezra again it says, all these vessels of gold and silver were 5,400. All these did Shisha Bazar. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sheshabar. Sheshabar. Bring up with them of the captivity that were brought up from Babylon into Jerusalem. Okay. So, Cyrus was to deliver and restore the temple of Jerusalem by conquering Babylon and bringing all the vessels that was taken out of Babylon and bring it back. How can we see it in relative time today? Putin is restoring Africa to the continent it is supposed to be at. How? By getting rid of the oppressors out of the land. Putin's assignment was to support Africa by restoring them to reparations. And reparations basically means the act of repairing, restoring to soundness or a good state. Okay, let us go to Ezra chapter 5. Chapter 5, verse 13 and 14. But in the first year of chapter 5, verse 13 and 14. But in the first year of Cyrus, the king of Babylon, the same king Cyrus made a decree to build this house of El, and the vessels also of gold and silver of the house of El, which Nebuchadnezzar took out of the temple that was in Jerusalem and brought them into the temple of Babylon. Those did Cyrus the king take out of the temple of Babylon, and that they were delivered unto one whose name was Sheshabar, whom he had made governor, and said unto him, take these vessels, go and carry them into the temple that is in Jerusalem, and let the house of El be built in his place. That is, he restoring the temple of Jerusalem. He repairing them. He giving them reparations. Right now, you're in the process of seeing reparation restored on Africa. Right now, at this time here, you're starting to see restoration or reparations being restored on Africa. Let us go to Jeremiah. Chapter 17 verses 19, chapter 30 verses 17 through 19. And it reads, for I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith Yahuwah, because they call thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob, tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places. And the city shall be built upon his own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. And out of them shall proceed thanksgiving, and the voice of them that make merry. And I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. Last one, Ezekiel chapter 34 and 16. It says, I will seek that which was lost, and bring again that which was driven away, and I will bind up that which was broken, and I will strengthen that which was sick, but I will destroy the fat and the strong, and I will feed them with judgment. Did y'all hear that? Let me read this over. He said, I will seek that which is lost, and bring again that which was given away. I will bind up that which was broken. Bind up means repair. I will repair that which was broken. I will strengthen that which was sick. I will destroy the fat and the strong, and I will feed them with judgment. That's what you see that's going on the earth today as a whole. That's just not here on the continent. That's just not in the continent of Africa. That's not just in what we call the quote-unquote Middle East. It's going on all over the continent. It's going on all over the planet. Where Putin is using everything that he can use to help restore the whole planet to a certain thing, to a certain space. Putin is used right now to destroy the G7s in their oppressive power. Right now, what you see what's going on in the land right now, Putin is being used to destroy all the G7 countries because what they did when they was in power. Because the G7s are considered to be Babylon in their system that they have. So Persia had to destroy Babylon. And so what you see what Russia is doing is destroying Babylon. And he's trying to restore all those nations that were destroyed by Babylon. But I want us to understand this, and I'm closing. Everybody got an assignment. Everybody has an assignment. Some people's assignment is to destroy or to bring judgment. And some people's job is to give restoration. Like my wife's business is to give restoration and healing. Everybody don't have the same job. Some people's job is to bring the plague so that they can be restored. But the people who brought the plague will get judgment. And the people who bring the healing will be rewarded. So, whatever your assignment is, do it because the Most High has given it to you to do. Whatever your assignment is, everyone has one. This is my assignment, is to teach. Hoping I'm doing a good job. But everybody has an assignment. And the question is, what's your assignment? What you're doing at this point, is it an assignment to glorify the Most High? It is an assignment to bring the Most High word to fruition. Because everyone has an assignment, and we got to do it. So that's it. Thank you for your time. Let me pray so we can go. Abba, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Abba, we thank you for everything you're doing, how you're doing it. We thank you for letting your word go out and not come back void. Abba, we just thank you for just being who you are. We thank you for allowing everything to be the way it is supposed to be. Abba, we ask that you continue to give us the strength of faith. We ask that you continue to give us the strength to be warriors. We ask that you continue to give us the strength to be prophets. We ask that you continue to let us walk one with the word. Abba, we ask that you continue to let us be obedient to your word. Let us be able to come one with your word. Abba, we ask that you continue to let us hear the way you want us to hear, see the way you want us to see, and speak the way you want us to speak. We ask that you continue to take the fish scales off our eyes. We ask that you just continue to anoint us and protect us and lead and guide us. Forgive us for the sins that we have committed, knowingly and unknowingly. Father, hear our words and our prayers and our supplication to bring down Babylon the Great. But Abba, we know that in your time everything will be done. We just surrender to your will. And all these things we pray, so let it be. Amen. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Woke you up in your captivity. Haven't I sent my son to free you mentally? Haven't I showed you the gods of your enemies? Haven't I gave you a heart that you remember me? Haven't I help you understand your pain? Haven't I didn't I give you back your name? Haven't I showed you everything is vain? Haven't I narrow path is the way? His word don't come by void. An everlasting covenant he made we can't avoid. We still see that rainbow in the sky, cause this is story. The almighty power, but y'all give him glory. Babylon is falling right before you. Haven't I? Hosea 1 and 10, y'all we royal. Haven't I? The valley of the dry done came alive. Haven't I? Hosea 6 and 2, we been revived. Haven't I? He done sent his messengers to open up our eyes. He done sent Messiah, laid his life down and died. He telling all his prophets, y'all, that he done heard our cry. He telling all his prophets, y'all, that he done heard our cry. Send your mighty hand, you see the affliction, but get us out this lane. We know you don't change, but do it all again. Lifting up this rod over waters, trust your plan. We gon' trust your plan. Haven't I woke you up in your captivity? Haven't I sent my son to free you mentally? Haven't I showed you the gods of your enemies? Haven't I gave you a heart that you remember me? Haven't I help you understand your pain? Haven't I didn't I give you back your name? Haven't I showed you everything is vain? Haven't I narrow path is the way?